Feel the difference with CBD Direct Oils.
CBD oils may have the health benefits for your aches and pains.
Thanks for sponsoring our show. Edgy Tools, it's the little things that make the big difference.
The king of useful doodads, making your job easier every day.
Welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. Excited about bringing you another great show. And we've got a lot to talk about. And we have some great people on tonight. We have Vince D'Alessandro, John Renstrom, and Hudson Tanzi. How you doing, guys?
Hold your applause, gentlemen. Hold your applause.
Hello, hello, hello. I don't have the applause button here on here anymore. I'm sorry. I traded it for an explosion like this.
I have it.
Oh, there we go.
How are you doing, gentlemen? How was your
well.
Thanksgiving? Was that all good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super.
Still finishing off the turkey.
Still? Yeah. I'm waiting for the split pea soup from
now,
the ham bone.
Do you do the leftovers? I call it the mama bird. On the mama bird sandwich. And you do sourdough, toasted sourdough, and then you put all the leftovers on the sandwich and you eat the sandwich. You guys do that?
No.
I have in the past. Yes, I have.
I love that. That's the best part.
We went a little different route this time. We decided we stayed away from family because reasons.
Oh, we get it.
So we stayed home and I smoked some Cornish game hens in my Komodo grill. And a couple days later, we just picked them all off the bone and we made like a really nice arroz con pollo or chicken and rice for the gringos.
Gotcha.
And just mixed in some veggies.
Now the Komodo grill is what?
It's basically the big green egg.
The green egg. Yep.
Yeah, but I have a knockoff version. So
nice.
The only tool he buys the knockoff of.
All right.
The big green egg.
Oh, I didn't buy it. It was a gift. That's even better.
Awesome.
We moved into our house, and my father-in-law, he's a big fan of my grilling, and I've always grilled on like some cheapo grill. And he was like, I thought, since you have a house now, you kind of deserve to have like a legitimate grill. Also, this gives me the opportunity to come over and eat whatever you grill.
Yeah.
So he
Nice.
dropped it off one day, this massive grill, and I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. If you've never cooked in a ceramic grill, it'll change your life. It's amazing.
And why is it amazing? Why is it good?
You can do everything in it. You can smoke, you can bake, you can grill. I mean, the only thing you can't do is fry. And
can you
it's
do
just
that thing where you make naan bread and you slap it onto the side of it?
What?
You know what naan bread is?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. They cook it in a clay oven and they slap it to the side of the clay pot.
And then it falls down once it's ready?
No, it cooks on there and then they peel it off and serve it.
I got to look
have
into this.
Never heard of such a thing. But I will say, I pretty much ignore all bread because I'm a celiac. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk to you.
Wait, are you celiac?
Yes.
How did I not know this?
Okay.
We don't know. We all know it. We'll talk about it after the
It's
show.
never been a secret. Yeah.
Okay.
We had a whole show about it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
So how's things in the tool world since this is a tool show?
Oh, well, there's a handful of tools I think you got, Daniel. I got a couple.
I know you were showing them all off before we started getting recording here, and I was all getting giddy and jealous.
Well,
Daniel's been throwing them
I got
up
a couple
on Facebook.
Yeah, I got a couple new things from Dave. And this is something I kind of bugged him about early on is like his hanger.
Wait, well, hold on. Dave with
Dave Stream from Edgy Tools, so the Edgy
There you
hanger.
go.
I was like, I drilled a hole in mine, and because I needed a shorter leverage point. Sometimes if your dent's really close to the edge, right where your hole is, you do the other thing, then you're at this steep angle with the tool, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You need it closer to the hood, so he finally did that and put a hole.
Put it up. Let me see.
Made the Edgy 2.0.
Okay, so what is that, like a 3/8 inch hole at the top there?
Probably bigger, a little bit bigger, so you could get a 3/8.
No, I think it's probably a half inch.
Yeah.
It's like an inch. Yeah. So there's a half inch hole. So So you can, take your smaller picks and stuff, and when you're closer to the edge of the panel,
Okay.
it's good. And then it has 3 holes in it. It has your regular hole in it, and then it has a second hole, so you can hang a second hanger from it. If you wanted to link, a couple hangers, depending on what you're doing.
And supposedly it's hardened even more now.
Is it?
That's what he says. New design uses a higher grade of steel and improved the hardening process.
Ooh.
I never straightened one of mine out. I
never had any problems with those.
I've only seen 2 people straighten out an Edgy thing, and it was because they were basically using it for what it's not intended.
Right.
And that was the only time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's more bulletproof.
Well, the best part about Edgy Tools is if you go on to pdrtooltime.com, there's a coupon code right there, PDRTT15, and you'll get 15% off by using that code on all Edgy branded tools, which is really cool.
That's just one of the many benefits of listening to this podcast, Vince.
That's right. Or at least going to the website.
Edgy hanger is $25.
Oh, that's not.
Yes,
So for people that aren't familiar with the Edgy hanger, this is what is going to replace your
the green one,
your S hooks, hooks, and things that you have the S hook that would connect to another S hook that you would put underneath the hood to make your fulcrum point. This replaces that, and there's no comparison.
Yeah, for somebody who's never used one, I mean, there is such a drastic difference when pushing.
By far. Well, just the hook part. It doesn't, with an S hook, it can do outward damage.
Yeah.
This won't. So it's just nice.
Well, and then using the set of S hooks too, the S hooks pivot in the center, so there's that little bit of wiggle that happens. And that's something that you don't get with the Edgy hanger. Once that's in there, it's such a solid mount to push off of.
Yep.
I found I blew through hoods much, much faster.
Yep.
That's coming from our resident hell expert, Mr.
John
Renstrom.
Yeah, unfortunately,
accessory.
When Hudson and myself were in Branson, he didn't have those yet, so we did not have an opportunity to buy them or anything like that. But I definitely would buy one of those.
But you know what I did get in Branson from Edgy, Dave? It was he has a plastic knocker tip. His knocker that everyone seems to love, and it's like it's what I use on aluminum. It looks like a pancake attached to a pole almost, a really flat, not a pancake. It's the size of a dime, less.
Yep.
The
knocker.
And so now he has a basically a non-marking plastic version of it.
Yeah, it's probably Peak. It's probably the raw Peak, I would think.
Yeah, it looks like the same material as his pirate leg.
Right.
Yeah.
The
beige.
And that's called the Ooh La La knocker.
Ooh La La.
But the big thing, I think, is he's got new caps for him. And he's got 3 different colors, black, and black being the hardest one. And then there's a red and green one, I think. And I've been using it all day today, and I'm loving it. It just absolutely works great. I have it on the end of my hammer right now.
And which hammer are you using there, Daniel?
It's the Daniel Grom 144.
The 144, yeah.
The only hammer that comes with a decent handle.
Please.
Now the caps are not on Dave's website as of yet.
The Ooh La La covers?
Yeah.
The covers for the Ooh La La. They're not on the website yet, but I assume Dave will be getting those soon.
I'll let you know we talked about it and make sure he gets them on there.
I was talking to you guys earlier, and I told how Dave missed the boat on his color code for hardness on all his covers. You got the red one and the pink one or whatever, and then green one. Like, I don't know which one's harder than the other. And I said, man, you should have just. I don't know that. And what I said is he needs to make a blue one, and that needs to be the hardest.
Why
is that?
Well, yeah. Because all 3 of y'all take something blue for hard things, right?
You're so funny.
Listen to the millennial.
Okay.
We're going to start hearing okay boomer jokes pretty soon.
Yeah.
Is that a Viagra reference? I'm not myself and John. We're not there.
Viagra reference.
We're not at that age yet. We're not there.
Not there yet.
Yeah. another 5 years. 10, 5.
2 months.
2 if I keep working at this pace.
Right?
I'm gonna be broken.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's
God.
cool. I know you guys, John, you didn't get them yet, and I'm not sure if you will, but the chameleon tools are out. I haven't really got it. I literally have had it for a day and a half now, so I haven't tried them out yet. And, you know, our listeners know I don't like to really talk about tools until I try them out and make sure that they're worthy of being talked about. If not, I'll go back to Mr. John Vidine and say, hey, I suggest this change. But they seem to be selling well. I think in a little bit, we'll call up John and pick his brain for a little bit and see what he has to say about them too, huh?
I've got them. I actually used them right away. The day I got them, I had the perfect dent on a quarter panel down in a wheel well. Nice soft dent, and it was the perfect ticket. Super stiff, a long flag on it. I had some stuff from Ultra that I had some shaved flag tools that work great, but the flag is kind of short. And sometimes you need a short one, but sometimes you need a long one. So these have a longer flag, and one's dull and one's sharp, and it was the ticket, man. Works great.
I like the fact that they're shaved almost all the way up the shaft too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
About 3/4 of the way.
Yeah, that's decent. I think that's a trend that we're going to start seeing with some tools now is a lot more shaving going on. Thicker tools, but shaved.
Yeah.
This access is getting tighter and tighter on these cars.
Yeah. I will say this. So, I'm in the same camp as you, Vince. Whenever I get a tool, I want to use it and put it through the ringer before I make any video on it. Everything so far that I've gotten from John with the Dent Reapers, they've been a home run. I've yet to have a home run from him.
I would say these have a home run.
Do what?
Not have a home run. You said you've yet to have a home run from him.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. These, I wouldn't say they're a home run. I put them at a triple, Yeah. They're great. I do think they're needed. I've been told that there are other tools like it on the market already that I think someone made me aware that PDR Finesse has a similar tool, but I don't own that, so I can't speak for it. And the person who told me that also doesn't have the chameleon tool, so they don't really know. But people have said that. I don't know.
Didn't Dent Gear have some of those?
Dent Gear, that's what it's based off of. When I talked to John, he said, Dent Gear used to make the Excalibur tool. And he misses it. And the Excalibur tools used to break quite a bit. But these are going to be more, have a little more oomph to them, so they're not going to break.
And so since nobody's making Dent Gear tools, he came out with
Yeah. So he has something very similar to it. And I'll say this, like I said, I guess my original point was I usually like to put things through the ringer. And whenever, but this one, as soon as I got it down a door, I work at a Porsche dealership and I work on the bottoms of Cayennes day in and day out.
Yeah.
And those bottom body lines get hit all the time. And I have to do a lot of de-trim on that. This is the first tool I have put down that door that doesn't leave a snail trail because those doors swoop in.
Yep.
It has a long enough flag to where I can still get some oomph and push out the body line dent on the bottom of a Cayenne.
Leveraging off of the brace.
Do what?
Leveraging off of the brace in between the brace and the body line because the brace is right there, right?
No, you're thinking of F-150.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
F-150s are like that, but there is. I'm trying to think of how it's designed. All I know is I have a great amount of leverage down there somehow, some way.
But what's the heel hitting off of?
I don't know.
It's solid.
All I know is I was able to fix some body line dents.
Yeah.
now I am having to fix it the dent wizard way. I'm completely inverted and having to really look down low.
Yeah.
But I'm comfortable with that. And I was able to fix dents I've been servicing this Porsche dealership for about 5 years now. And in the 5 years, I've never had a tool that can fix those dents on those body lines without making snail trails all throughout the door.
Interesting.
So as soon as I did that, I was like, I'm making a video right now because this is the first time ever I've ever been able to do this. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I see some other uses for them too. I see like upper door braces. If you get in through like the hole for the handle and being able to get, into that area, the upper door brace and the flag on it getting farther up because it has a longer throw on it that you'll be able to get under an upper door brace and, get the.
You're going to have a big hole.
No, well, some of them are big holes.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Or for those that drill holes in upper door brace to get upper door brace dents out.
I don't know. I have no clue. We were talking about 1/2-inch holes in the tops of doors.
All right, Daniel, what else? What else do you have?
Actually, you just remind, have you guys seen that ad that's on Facebook? The guy's taking an iPhone and he's going over the wall looking for pipes. And,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
and it's like an X-ray machine. That's what we need. My light's going off here. That's what we need for doors. Wouldn't that be cool to have on a door? You'd be able to run around and find the brace and see exactly where it's at.
Well, we have a wedge right now that can help you with that.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to say. Or you could just stick a wedge in there with the light and see. Called.
Yeah. No, that would be super awesome. But I wonder how you could do that.
I wonder if it would work.
It would.
Somebody buy it. Somebody buy it.
No, you buy it.
Let us know.
Any other tools?
I got something new today, but I was told not to talk about it. From Glexo.
So everybody be on the lookout for something new coming from Glexo.
Yeah, they're going to announce it in Japan. So I haven't tried it out or anything, but
that's this weekend, right, John?
I think so. Yeah.
The ISARE.
You could have come up with something a little bit simpler.
They're European. It is simple for them.
Yeah.
Too many letters.
You're just on the wrong side of the water.
There was an announcement made today about the PDL World Cup will be happening for a third year, October 22nd through the 24th in Branson, Missouri.
Woohoo!
Yep, that was made public today.
That was made public today. I think Adam has said that he's going to be doing more advertising, more marketing, and ramping it up even more. So let's see how that goes. I enjoyed the camaraderie with other Dink guys there because it was a much slower pace because it was a much smaller show. If it doubles in size next year, I think it'll still be a small show and can still be a good time if you got nothing else going on. So let's see what happens and let's see if it's something that carries on for a fourth year after the third.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hey, John, do you guys have a booth over there in Japan? You gonna have people?
No. We did that once.
Your software doesn't work there, right? Yeah.
No, we're not Japanese ready at all.
So. Okay, guys, this is an ignorant American right here. Okay, ignorant millennial American. Is a barcode is like a universal thing, right? Like that's used worldwide. Like people use barcodes everywhere.
Sure. Barcodes are in use worldwide. The ability to decode them worldwide is the difference.
Okay.
In other words, something here might transfer to something else in China or Japan.
Yep.
And they have different models and different cars.
Japan really has a very, very different pricing structures for paintless dent repair, depending upon what part of the country you're in. Huh. So there was no sort of consistent pricing, even amongst the insurance market, which was, the biggest thing. The big reason why we were there is to see how Japan prices out damage, what they do. And it was no two people we talked to did it even remotely close to the same.
You guys were just there for the party. Come on.
And the sushi.
It was a great time. And I really, if any of you have an opportunity to go and hang out with Dink guys in Japan, do it. It was an absolute blast. The Japanese are remarkable hosts.
Yep.
As I said, I'm a celiac. They went over and above to make sure that food was always safe for me to eat. And every meal was like an 8-course meal. I was giving stuff away. There was so much food.
That's awesome.
Everybody was
hungry talking about it.
I'm not. I already ate.
Okay. I need to get a passport so I can go.
Do you have to get the real ID in Texas?
What do you mean?
That's a national thing. Their IDs, I think, are up to date already. It's us Californians that are behind the curve.
Can you use that? Aren't those something you can use instead of a passport?
No, you have to have a passport.
Okay.
No, I've traveled outside the country, but The only places I've been is whenever the passports weren't required, but things have changed since then.
Yeah, you can't even. I tried when I went to Canada I almost left my passport at home because I have global entry. And I'm thinking, I could get back with global entry. And they're like, no, we need to see your passport. I'm like, oh, crap. Good thing I had it buried in the bottom of my case.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a close one.
So, gentlemen, we have a show topic for today.
We do. Let's move on.
So I was talking, and you guys aren't there yet. I mean, John already is. I'm getting there, and that is our weather, our climate is getting colder because of the months of the year we're in. And some of you guys who are listening, you are already feeling it like crazy. And John, what's the temperature for you right now?
We're actually warmed up. Well, we're at 32.5 degrees outside. Right now.
Oh, it's warmed up. It's 30. It's just at freezing. Better put on
right after Thanksgiving, we just got hit with 19 inches of snow and a blizzard.
Golly!
So there was no work being done. I-90 was shut down all the way across South Dakota and in portions of Wyoming. I-80 was shut down. This is a storm front that is now over on the East Coast that everybody's complaining about. That's dumping all that snow into New York. It was a blaster. And one of the things that was made when I did route work, man, like Monday would have been a day off. In fact, we'd have been lucky to have been able to find door dents today on a Tuesday after a storm like that, because the lots in between the cars fills up with snow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so you can't even walk in between and walk your lot.
Yeah. You can't walk the lot and see anything. We all had snow pushers, and one of the main things that I used was my old body shop heat light for
like the infrared,
drying paint. Yeah, the infrared tris clamp. I put that on a panel and get that panel warm way better than using a heat gun or a torch or anything like that.
So John, we're getting into this, and so we'll probably just tell the topic is our topic today is basically tech tips for guys working out in the cold.
That's what I agree with that, because I love using the infrared heater.
Is it true that it cooks you inside out if you stand in front of it too long?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's the idea.
It heats up the panels from the inside out. What do you mean, like cooks you?
I've been told. I was told by someone that don't stand in front of it for heat for too long, because it'll cook you on the. I was 18.
All right.
It's not a microwave.
It's not a microwave.
All right. Well,
that's 5G.
Yeah.
So
that's 5G.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this.
5G works on the lowest spectrum of the microwave spectrum, but the infrared heat lights, they warm the surface. They warm everything. It's not just blowing warm air.
Yeah.
But does that mean that you're walking around with like an electrical cord everywhere and just like dragging this?
Well, we always had a retail location, and we take all the cars from the dealership because you had to get them inside. When you're up here, we get below zeros. You're not doing anything outside. You can't get a torch to stay on a panel long enough to even warm it up.
Oh, wow.
Well, check this out. How about this? Why don't I introduce our first guest here, which is very fluent with cold weather climate. Mr. Tory Jenkins over there in Pennsylvania. You on the line here or no?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hanging in there.
Shark.
You staying warm?
Trying to. We're dipping our toes into the high 20s, low 30s right now.
Oh, okay. You're right there with Mr. Renstrom. How much snow you got?
Nothing. It's about 50 miles north of us. Got like 6-8 inches, I guess. Sunday we stayed clear of it, thank God.
Oh, that's good. Well, now, Tori, we've had you on in the past, and we appreciate you coming back on again. Now, what you're doing now, you have a shop, so you do primarily work indoors this time of year, right?
No, I'm a route guy, and in my shop, I basically have hours by appointment.
Okay.
I am doing a lot of retail out of the shop, but probably at least 3 days a week I'm out on my route, and then service and body shops as well.
Gotcha. So what are some of the tips and tricks that you're doing when you're out and about doing that route work? I heard John talking about when it's in the sub-zeros, you're trying to get everything inside, and I'm pretty much the same way. But like the way it is now, if the wind ain't howling, basically if it's something that's going to take me less than
10, 15 minutes to do, generally I'll go and try and get the keys to cars, and I'll actually go and start them up if they're within location of each other that I can keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Run the heaters, roll the windows down, and then for heat, I use my propane torch on the panels, and plus I just bought the propane heat gun, and with the Get a Grip, I use that a lot. I've been known to also stick my torch on the ground pointing at me when it's not heating the panel.
Of course. Let me ask you something on that. On the Get a Grip and really ultimately anything with the suction cup, do you have problems with that suction cup when it's super cold?
Yeah, I actually have to heat it up with my other torch. I'll just heat it up with the other torch and get it just a little. Yep, and get it a little warm because I do have that problem. And once they're warm, it seems to be okay. I haven't really had anything fall off since then, but that is the problem. If last year or 2 years ago, I did a video where I was had a glue pull on a quarter panel by the gas door, and there's frost in the car, and I'm sitting there with my torch and just heated up the panel enough to get the glue tab to stick to it and control it. And I took line with the torch near the gas filler and all this and that. But it was more for the comedy of the fact that the car was full of frost and I'm out there.
Oh my gosh! I didn't make the connection. I'm like, gas, door, torch. Holy crap!
It was probably Hudson giving you a hard time.
Yeah, it could have been. And another thing I like to do is with my glue tabs when it's cold, and if I have something I got to glue, I'll keep them in my pocket, but that's kind of to keep them warm. That's kind of a pain in the ass, or I'm sorry, pain in the butt. And so I'll keep them in my mouth, almost like a binky, and just sit there and keep them in my mouth, and they stay warm. And then sit there and you warm the panel up, and just glue, and you got to be quick.
How about putting them in your belly button?
Yeah,
well, I would find an extra deep belly button for that. We're talking.
I did lose 40 pounds, so I think I'd be all right now.
I'm posting a photo tomorrow with a tab in my belly button and with a teaser of figure out what this photo is all about and listen to next week's show.
You're gonna have to have like a 7 or 8 M&M belly button. That's the only way that's gonna work.
I don't know why this glue doesn't stick to my lint.
Now, Tori, let me ask you this because I haven't pushed in cold weather climate in 21 years since I've been back in Chicago. And is paint different now in cold weather? Is it more flexible? Do you find it more flexible, or is it more brittle than the new formulations?
It's really brittle, and the Chrysler paint is the worst. Chrysler paint, it's the worst. You really got to keep it good and warm. Even in the spring and some cooler summer days, you got to watch with the Chrysler paint. But in the winter, if you sneeze on it, it's gonna want to break. So that's the worst ones to work on.
Yeah. Okay.
Tori, you're getting a little bit muffled there on us, bud.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Hey, so here's a question. Let's break this down scientifically a little bit. Do you guys think there is kind of a threshold Fahrenheit where you can safely push on a dent without worry of paint cracking? Like 55 degrees Fahrenheit and you're safe. You don't have to worry about any cracking. Like what's the brittle point? What do you guys think? Like 200.
Because you can crack paint in the middle of summer.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like we get a little bit cold every once in a while down here, and I've noticed that like if I've had a din or two where I know that if it was a warmer climate, like the paint would have not have done what it did. Right. So
absolutely. Yeah.
So when should we start being like, okay, I need to put some heat on this dent before I push it? Like what degrees Fahrenheit do you think we should be at?
I personally don't know a degree. I just generally feel the panel with my hand. If it feels cool to me, I generally just grab the torch right away. I don't care if it's in the middle of summer and the car's sitting in the shade or whatever. And I'll just wick it over with the torch real quick and then bring some temperature up so I don't have that. So I don't have that issue. That's one of my biggest fears is cracking paint.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. And even though I'm in Southern California, it does get cold here. In the mornings, it's down in the 50s. Sometimes in the middle of winter, it'll be in high 40s. But anyways, it's like Tori said, I usually feel it and see. Because we're able to crack paint out here just as easy as, somewhere cold.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I'm dealing with is right now is we had hail here over this summer, and I'm still getting a lot of residual cars here to work on here or there. And with the cool, I'm so used to the summer, you can just rip through them and just go and go and go. And now when it's cool, you're constantly thinking, now I got to heat the panel up, even though the car's been sitting in the shop.
Let me tell you a little something I learned about doing hail in cold weather. I did a storm in Northern California back in 2012. No heated shop. So what I got was one of those patio heaters. The ones that have the really high ones that have the heater up there at about 5 foot. I put that on top of one of those hardwood furniture dollies from Harbor Freight, those $10 wooden dollies with the wheels, and fire that puppy up, and you can run it all the way down the side of the car. It heats the roof and the rails, so you can just blaze right down them with your glue like it's the middle of summer.
Huh. That's genius.
I never would have thought of that.
It keeps you warm, keeps the entire side of the car warm, and clean up over into the middle of the panel. And just by having it right there on that little wheeled dolly, you just keep pushing it around the car with yourself.
That's so awesome.
Now, Tori, let me ask you a question. Do you do anything marketing wise different during the winter, and do you give out like gifts to your big accounts or anything like that?
Yep. Every year I just did a Sam's Club run this past week. All my accounts, I'll give out some kind of cookies or something like that to all the managers of the different departments. Some years I'll give out, I'll do like some of my better accounts, depending on what we did that year. Sometimes I'll get something, the managers will get something a little more, the owners will get something a little more. But yeah, I do handouts, and a lot of times I'll get pocket screwdrivers, the mechanics, the detailers, and some of the detail shops and the body guys. They love pocket screwdrivers. I don't know if they lose them like 10 millimeter sockets or what, but every year you can go in with a pocket screwdriver with a magnet on it, and they just smiles all day long. It's like, yeah, awesome, they got something.
Do you get it with your logo on it?
Yep. Oh yeah, you can get them. You can get them from Vistaprint. I think my wife does a lot of that for me. But you can order them online pretty cheap, and I think they come out to be like 99 cents a piece.
That's awesome.
No way. A pocket screwdriver, 99 cents with your logo?
I'm almost positive, Hudson. Yeah, I'll send you one.
I think that's a great idea, and even better if you have a whole bunch of mechanics, it would be to somehow get a wholesale price on 10 millimeter sockets and just hand them out, right?
Hey,
holy moly.
I have a question for all you guys. You guys have all talked about giving away stuff. Now, if you're giving something to, say, a service manager or somebody, do you give it to them at the dealership or at the account or the manager of a body shop, or do you give it to them privately?
I give it to them straight up at their place of work.
Yeah, me too. Right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
If everybody wants one, then you got to do it in secret.
Yeah. Here's the deal: is those guys like to feel special. Let's just be honest. Managers, a lot of managers, a lot of the guys that are calling the shots at dealerships and stuff and body shops, they want people to know they're the top dog, and they are, they get special privileges. Like they just have that kind of ego about them. So you show up as a vendor and bring them the special gift. It's showing your appreciation, and it's also feeding that ego.
Cool.
Personal opinion.
How many of you guys working like John? You do a lot of hail gigs and stuff. You buy your shops toward the end of a gig. I'll go and if I'm doing a lot of hail in a certain body shop this summer, like I was in 2 or 3 body shops, I was jumping around. I buy the shop lunch 2 or 3 times. So I go out and get 5 or 6 pizzas and sodas and everything and feed the shop.
Lunches, and then done dinners, drinks. Cool. I always buy them a bottle of whatever their favorite beverage of choice is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And all the estimators.
Yeah, I find it goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about my gifts this year.
What's that? Oh, yeah, you have awesome gifts.
I was inspired by Jason Thrasher. I think he did this a year or 2 ago. And so I just hopped on a Black Friday deal of basically a backpack that's a cooler. there's a local company here in Houston called Arctic, which is basically like Yeti, but cheaper. And they had a deal where they were $30 and you can fit like 15 cans and ice and everything in these backpacks. So I bought all black ones and I got my logos made to where I'm going to be able to put them on the backpack. So it's going to be like a Dent Gents backpack cooler, and all my managers are going to be getting their own backpack cooler. I'll probably fill it with just some beer or something like that and send it to them. I usually give out like whiskey or rum or tequila because, Texas.
Right. Now, do any of you guys like gear up when you're working out in the cold like this? Any of you guys have the Milwaukee electric jackets or electric gloves or electric crotch warmers?
My crotch is already warm enough.
That was a joke.
Now, they didn't have any of those jackets back when I was having to walk the lots and everything, but battery-powered socks were definitely a needed thing. My feet always get cold.
Tori, you still there?
Yep, North Face for me. I wear a lot of North Face layer up in the morning, and I know it's cold, and I got to go walk a lot. I don't generally turn the heat on in my van, and I learned that from my previous job. I worked outdoors a lot. It didn't matter if it was rain, snow, or shine. And if we knew it was a cold day, we wouldn't run the heaters in the vehicles. And now with this, when I know I'm going 10, 20 miles down the road to a dealer or whatever, I got to walk a lot. Just leave the heater off. And that way I'm not warmed up going out into the cold. You're not trying to acclimate yourself 2 or 3 times.
Oh, that's genius. I've never thought of that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I'm a Houston, Texas boy. I've got Houston in my blood. And so I've grown up in a warm climate my whole life. And working outside, it's gotten a little bit colder, I feel, or I'm just getting older. And I did not understand the concept of layering until 2 years ago. I was just like, man, these blue jeans it's freezing with these blue jeans on. What do I need to do?
Blue jeans are the worst. They're like cardboard when they're cold. That's the worst thing to wear.
I'm in freaking Texas. I wear blue jeans. That's just what I have nothing else.
Got your Wranglers on?
Levi's. I'm a Levi's guy.
All right.
But I'll say this. Here's a tech tip. Go to Costco and they have this, you know how people like to wear long johns, old like waffle pattern, white long johns, the Cowboys wear?
Yeah.
Costco has their own brand. It's called 32 Degrees Below. And it's like almost like silky smooth long johns. And they're like $10 and they're thin. Like it's like they're thinner than ever. So let's just say my pants have gotten a little tighter over the years and I can still wear these long johns and the pants fit just fine. And they're warm and they're layered and they're fantastic.
Daniel, you're trying to say something. I don't know if your mic's muted or not.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
All right. That disposable rubber gloves is my little secret.
What? Explain.
That's what I wear to keep my hands warm. Is I wear disposable rubber gloves
because you sweat like a dirty.
Because you still have the dexterity. You can still grip and grab stuff with these gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
But, it keeps your hands warm because they don't breathe. It's your hands sweat a little bit inside, but it keeps them warm. That's my list.
Tori, you got any other tech tips for the for outdoor weather and what we should wear before we let you go?
No, basically I just layer up, take a change of clothes. So if you do start sweating, you can throw another sweatshirt or t-shirt on. And I wear lightweight leathers, lightweight layers like North Face and stuff. Unless it's real windy, and then I'll wear something else. But if it's brutally windy, I'm trying to get the stuff inside. I'm not even messing around.
Yeah.
So, but leave the heater off in your car in the morning, and that's pretty much the best one I got.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good
Tori.
one.
Sorry, go ahead, Vince.
No, that's a good one. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tori, I saw you posted your old dent rig that you're trying to sell, and
I actually sold it.
Oh, nice.
Are you going to set up your new dent rig to look similar or better than this previous one?
I'm going to try. I'm going to probably do a 3/4 wrap on it. I just picked it up tonight, right before you called. I got a 2020 ProMaster. It's the low roof. It's a little bigger than the Transit Connect.
Nice.
And I sold another dent guy from about 45 minutes away that I've been helping out, helping him along. He's a 3-year tech. He actually bought my old van off me. So, yeah,
that's awesome. Well, you're doing a great job with your logos and your design and everything. And so keep that up, man. And I appreciate you coming on and giving us some tech tips from an expert. What, Vince?
We appreciate it. It's not just
sorry. It's not about me. I can't speak for you guys. I don't know if you appreciate Tori. I appreciate him.
You could have in that case.
It's just I think.
Well, I look forward to seeing all you guys at MTE down in Orlando. I think it's going to be a good time this year.
Yeah,
like it is every year. So I look forward to seeing everybody down there. And thanks for having me on.
Well, listen, make sure you come by the playground, the PDR Tool Time Playground, because that's going to be the place to be, and give some tech tips to newbies or oldies or whatever that are going to be hanging out at our playground. It's going to be good stuff.
Definitely will. Thank you, guys.
All right, brother. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on.
Tori's a great guy. He's a super nice guy.
Yep.
There were some tips in there that were so simple that are amazing.
Yeah. Don't turn your heat on.
Do what?
Don't turn your heat on. Acclimate to it in your car, right?
Yeah. Because that's the first thing I do is I get in and I'm like shivering. I'm like, and I'm waiting. I'm like revving my engine at 8,000 RPMs to get it hot.
It only makes sense though if you stay in the cold so that you're bundled up. The worst thing that can happen is you start sweating heavy.
Yeah,
that's true.
In your layers.
Yeah, and then you get cold. What we used to do, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but when we went to Bears games, and I still go back to Chicago for a Bears game every year, and what you do, it's a little bit different because when you're working, you're moving around and you're generating your own heat instead of sitting in a chair for 3 hours and, tailgating for 4 hours before that, freezing your ass off drinking alcohol. But we would put Vaseline all over our feet, and then you put a plastic bag on, and then you put your socks on and your shoes. So the Vaseline traps in all the heat and the moisture and keeps your feet warm and your feet, because that's the number one thing for me. As soon as my feet go cold, I'm done. I want to go home.
Yeah, I'm with you, but my feet sweat so heavy. I was like covering them in Vaseline and then putting them in a plastic bag.
Yes.
Then put your sock on and then your shoes.
Yeah. We would save loaves of bread, the plastic from the bread.
Yeah.
No, honestly, because it's
snow boots as a kid.
Yeah, because it's thin plastic. Ziploc is too thick and too cumbersome. But if you lather Vaseline all over your feet, you put the bag on, and then you put your wool socks on, you don't need anything else except for a regular pair of shoes.
This is also fascinating.
Yes.
Versus in the South, it's like, you hot? Take off your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel, have you ever rubbed Vaseline all over your feet?
I don't mind, just all over his body.
Not on the feet.
Gosh. Tech tip here. I have a tech tip. Whenever it does get a little bit cold, Zippo makes reusable hand warmers. So they're metal, and you just take the top off, and it's got this little it almost looks like steel wool, and you fill up the bottom reservoir just like a Zippo lighter with a bunch of lighter fluid, and you put that cap on, and then you light up that little steel wool part, and then you put the cap on, and you let it sit out for about 5 minutes. And once it gets to its your desired temperature of it, you put it in this little bag, and it'll stay at that temp. But if you leave it out, it'll get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter as more oxygen is exposed to it. But man, those things will stay warm for 8 hours. And what I do is when I layer up is I wear a hoodie underneath my North Face jacket. And I take these little Zippo hand warmers and I put them in both my pockets, in my hoodie pockets, because I have a zipped up hoodie. So one in each pocket. So I have these two little heat Zippo hand warmers just sitting there on my belly. And it makes me super comfy. I'm like a little koala.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. All right, well, let's go a little bit north, a little bit more north on the next call and see what this guy's doing, because I know he's a route guy, and he's out there doing dealerships and body shops. Wow, that's really loud. And so let's call up this guy and see what he has to say about doing cold weather dents up in Minnesota. Mr. John Vidine, you there?
Hello.
Oh, there he
is.
You
betcha.
He's there.
Geez. Oh, geez.
Oh, gee, just really nice. Golly, that you joined us this evening. Thanks a lot there, mister.
No problem there. You betcha. Yeah, the wife just got done making some hot dish, and I figure it'd be a good time to get on the telly and talk to my California friend.
Yes.
All right, now, Mister, did you get? Now I got that 19 inches of snow just on Saturday. What did you guys get over in Minnesota?
Oh, we didn't get 19. We were probably 8-ish.
Oh,
I do believe I did have to snowblow 3 times this weekend, so we got plenty.
You got enough.
A lot of it melted already today.
Oh, okay.
What brand toque do you wear?
Toque.
Toque.
How's a
No,
toque?
we don't wear
No,
toques around here.
Toque is something you do in Colorado.
Toque.
What?
That's toque.
I know it's a joke. It was a play.
No.
Okay,
We
Daniel.
call them turtles. We call them turtles here in Minnesota. The thing you wear around your neck to keep your neck and face warm.
The only reason I know that is from we're the beer drinking guys from the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Dan and the
The
McKenzie
Yoopers.
brothers. The McKenzie
Yeah,
brothers. Strange
Oh,
brew.
yeah, it was
Strange brew.
Strange brew.
So John Viding, Mr. Viding, is that the proper way?
Yes.
Vidine, yeah. You got it.
Viding. So Viding, I hope Black Friday was good to you with your new Chameleon Tools layout. We were talking about it earlier. We're fans. We're fans of the Chameleons.
Well, shucks. Much appreciated. Yeah, Black
Yes.
Friday was great. Thanks to everybody who participated. I'm blown out of the water. It's just amazing. So thank you to
Awesome.
everybody. And thank you, Hudson, for your awesome video.
I only make
Nice
videos on
display.
things I like. Luckily, you made a good tool. If I didn't make a good tool, it sucks to be you.
But all the Dent Reaper tools are great tools. So.
They are.
Yeah. So, hey, John, we need, since you're up there in the Great White North of Minnesota, you got any cold weather tips for when you're working on dents out there in the yonder?
Yeah, well, I would say keep the truck running. That's important if you can't get inside. I try not to work outside
like your
anything.
work truck that you work out
Yeah.
of, or the truck you're working on?
The truck I work out of, yes. You don't need the vehicle you're working on to be running, but the vehicle you're working out of, because, my hands are the first thing to get cold. So when the feeling starts going from your fingers, it's real easy to make a mistake. So you got to go back into the truck and warm up.
So, okay, hold on. I'm going to stop you right there because we just had a guy from the Northeast tell us do not heat up your vehicle so you can acclimate to the cold. Don't ever turn your heat on because you're going to get sweaty. And then when you go out into the cold, you're going to get even colder.
Huh?
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Well, I'm with you, John. I'm keeping that freaking thing on. I want to freaking heat myself up.
Now, John, do you use any form of hand warmer other than the truck?
I do not. I've had the gloves where you can put the hand warmers in there. It's a little too bulky. I don't know. Maybe I'm too touchy feely, but I really got to feel what I'm doing. I can only wear thin gloves, and I just got to be able to feel my way through the repairs. So
All right.
I'm the
that's
same
key
way.
for me.
Yeah. I
keep the truck warming, and I warm up my hands as needed. And
I could only wear one type of glove when I worked in cold weather, and it had to be deerskin. The deerskin had a feel to it, and they were insulated, but the deer, for some reason, the way that it felt in my hands, I felt the tools better opposed to like a cow skin or cowhide or other types of hide.
Probably a thinner.
Have you ever wore
Yeah.
Thinner leather.
NFL gloves? The ones the receivers have.
Those aren't warm at all.
They keep your hands warm enough in California.
Oh,
I've seen.
But they have grippy stuff, so if you were touching a wet car, it wouldn't get wet. It's got rubber layer on the inside.
I would think that they would crack under the pressure of the coldness.
You know what I saw?
Maybe.
Someone post a year or two ago, and I meant to buy them, but I never did because I'm too cheap. It was rainy weather golf gloves.
Yeah, I had those.
Any good?
Yeah, they're not really. They're synthetic. They're not leather. So they do work. They work good for rainy weather golf.
So John, keep your thing running. Renstrom, you had a question. You're better at this.
What are you using to warm your side panels with?
Oh,
I'm a torch guy. If I'm doing a retail car or I'm somewhere where there's power, I will set up my heat gun with my get a grip. But in most cases, if I'm doing route work or something like that, just you heat up the panel, it'll fog over, and then you give it another couple of passes to dissipate the moisture and get the fog off of there. And as long as it's semi-warm, you're good to go.
Now, do you have any issues with your suction cups working in that kind of cold?
Yes. Yeah, they do tend to fall off a little bit more in the cold, and it's just, sometimes you gotta wipe down the panel or do something to that.
Do you ever turn on the car that you're working on and put the heaters on? Does that help?
Typically not. I wouldn't do that. If I got to R&I something, I'll do that just in certain cases, just to hopefully make sure that none of the plastic clips break or anything like that. But as far as the panels go, I don't think it really affects it, or at least the juice isn't worth the squeeze. You're doing lot work. Retail work, I'll put a lot more time and preparation into, but
yeah.
So in other words, if you're cracking paint on a wholesale job, who cares, right?
I wouldn't go that far as to say who cares, but I would say it's happened in my career,
right?
And more often in the cold.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
So if you're using a torch regularly and heating it up, you're having to heat up quite a bit. How many bottles of propane would you say you go through? Because I assume you're using the propane torches.
Yeah, 1 or 2 a year. I don't burn through that much propane.
Okay.
Not, I got a quick trigger, so when I pull the trigger, it flames up. When I let go, it's off. And so I'm not really using that much propane. It's not constantly.
How does your wife feel about that quick trigger?
I don't know. I'll ask her and get back to you on that.
So basically what you're saying, John, is the cold, it doesn't really bother you. It doesn't affect you. You just get it done, right? You just do it.
Got to get her done. Yeah. I mean, as I was learning, and I learned to deal with the cold. That was part of it. And especially in the early years, we didn't have time to whine or complain about the cold. You got to get the job done if you want to eat.
Yeah. Now, what are you doing different, or not different, but what do you do differently this time of year for advertisement for retail? Is there anything, do you find retail slows down more, or that you have to ramp something up, or what do you do?
Retail definitely slows down more, and I've just come to accept that. So there's a lot more days I have time to work on my business. Like today I edited some photos and got some outsourcing work assigned and set up. And this is the time of year where I kind of rebuild some of my content and rebuild some of the stuff on my website to be sure that I'm running on all cylinders when car wash weekend hits in March here.
Yes, that's. I remember back in Chicago, like come February, you'll get like this weird weekend where it's like 32 degrees out, and next thing you know, you have all these dudes on Harleys driving around. It's like, it's 32 degrees. Oh my God, it's so warm. Let's go out on our Harleys.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah, I call it car wash weekend. When it hits, because that next week you're just inundated with calls because everybody finally had a minute to wash their car and or admire it and realize how many dings they collected over the winter.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yep. Now, the other thing that you can be doing, and I highly suggest this, Mr. Viding, is that you start practicing your vocals for that karaoke.
Yeah, well, I definitely need some practice.
I have some great video of said vocals already on my phone.
Well, I would love to buy the rights to that.
Yeah,
and bury it forever.
I have another great video on my phone that you sent me, Mr. Viding.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, if you ever need a good karaoke partner, John is awesome to get up there with and have a good time. But myself and John and Branson, we sang like 6-7 songs together or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the exact number. There's a little bit of fuzziness to that evening, but I know I had fun and I know I sang. There's video evidence of it, so it must have been real.
It
awesome.
did happen.
John, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
The pleasure is all mine.
Well,
thank you guys, and stay warm out there in Texas and California. And where's Renstrom at now?
He's right over by you. He's next town over.
I'm still in South Dakota.
Still in South Dakota.
I'm just a little bit west. Yep.
Hop, skip, and a jump. We'll go ice fishing over there, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Have a great one,
John.
John.
A little bit colder, we can just drive the car right on down.
Yeah.
You betcha. All right, guys.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, John. And obviously, we'll have you on in the future again. And we'll talk some more about tools rather than, staying warm.
By the way, thanks for I got the new tools today, testing them out. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we'll chat more about that offline.
Yes.
But awesome. Thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
See you, John.
Oh, that boy's a hoot.
Yeah.
Yes. He is a
great
blast.
We had some fun down in Branson with him. He's a good guy to hang out with.
Absolutely.
I describe him. He's one of those guys. He's kind of like a Dave Shalott. You look at him, and he looks like he just played a joke on you, and he's waiting for you to figure it out.
Yes.
Got that grin on his face, like he's got a secret, and he's like just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys one last thing about John Viding. He is secretly a genius. We did an escape room together in Branson.
Yeah.
And the dude just thinks in ways that I didn't, the other guys just don't think. So it was really cool to do that with them.
Nice.
So gentlemen, I think we have called all the men we need to call about our cold weather tech tips. That leads us to the people listening.
Yes, the people listening. We have a contest going on this week. Get on to PDR Tool Time, and once I post this podcast on there, get underneath there and post your tech tips for cold weather. Hudson, talk for me.
All right, gentlemen, if you have any cold weather tech tips that you can give, that you can add, leave a comment underneath whenever Vince makes the show post, and then you will be entered to win some push metal gear. We're going to pick 2 out of the men or women that comment, and you will get some push metal gear from Crystal Ellison.
And it will be random, so don't feel like you're going to lose out on anything. It will be random. We're not going to secretly pick one. It'll be showing on there. Whoever wins, and there'll be 2 winners.
Hey, Vince, I got one more contest we got to enter.
What's
I
that?
got another contest.
What?
Whoever can post the picture with the biggest glue tab in their belly button, they get a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'll give them a push metal t-shirt. Biggest.
You get a push metal t. If you can fit the biggest tab, $50 or bigger tab in your belly button, and you post it on our PDR Tool Time page, you will get a t-shirt.
I'll send you out a shirt. And don't forget that Push Metal Gear is 50% off all throughout the rest of the year. So get on Push Metal Gear, and if you don't win something, to buy something.
Also,
3 more weeks.
Edgy Tools, go there. PDR Tool Time 15?
Yes.
No. PDR-TT 15.
PDR-TT 15. You go there, you buy it, and you get 15% off. You can't lose.
Buy the new Ooh La La knockers with the condoms.
Yes. All right, Daniel, what do you got to say?
Level up your tools.
Don't do stupid stuff.
and keep it stiff.
And we're out.
Mobile Tech RX, the app that helps you make more money.
Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection for just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors. Thanks for listening.